The next thing we're going to look at is drop shadows. And like gradients, drop shadows come in and out of fashion. So you might want to be paying attention to sort of design trends and what's going on with these and how they're being used. For a while, there was sort of a move to make everything flat and nothing look three-dimensional, and drop shadows went away for a while. But they seem to be back in some different ways. Google Material Design seems to be sort of pushing sort of a little bit more shadows these days, for example. And then we'll talk about some other trends in a minute too. So I can look at this drop shadow here and see that it's sort of this 333 color. It's using this multiply thing here, and angle 90 degrees, distance 0, spread 0, size 20 pixels. If you increase the distance, you'll see it's moving along in an axis there, and you can, if you change the angle, that will make it move in different directions. Spread has to do with how much it spreads that way, and then the size is the size of the actual shadow itself. So that's kind of interesting. Let me just click cancel there. I don't need to change that. And then I'm going to go over to check out this box shadow generator here, and we can do the same thing. So again, we don't want anything for the length or the vertical length or the horizontal length. But we want to set the blur radius to about 20. And then we want to set the shadow color to that 333333, that dark gray. And we're not doing anything with opacity. Some of these might have sort of the blend mode, which would allow you to get that multiply blend mode in there, but we don't really need that. I mean, I think this is close enough. This is looking pretty good, and you can see sort of what the syntax looks like. These statements with the dash WebKit and dash Moz in front of them are for older browsers, older versions of Safari, older versions of Firefox. And they're really old enough now that we don't need to even bother copying that. I mean, these browsers are all, they update themselves, and you haven't needed to use these prefixes for a long time. For a while, browser companies were sort of trying out features with prefixes like this. So they'd sort of try out the feature for a while with the prefix, and then the bottom one would become sort of how they decided to finally do it. But within the last, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, browsers have gone to sort of these evergreen browsers that update themselves fairly regularly. So we don't really need those prefixes anymore. I don't think there's any of them that really matter very much anymore, but you see them around every once in a while. So we really just need this bottom line here. All right, so I'm going to come back here to make a rule for pound box 4. We'll target the next box. And I'm just going to paste that box shadow in there. And then really, if we go and look at the page here, refresh, come down here, you can see the box shadows there. I just don't have the right color in here. So I can go back to my Photoshop file and get the background color as well while I'm here. So I can just use my eyedropper tool to get this blue color here and see what that color is and copy it and add a background color for that. Over here, background color. And that's it. That's all I really need to do for box 4. You'll see now it looks pretty good with the box shadow. Inner shadow also is very easy. We can just go back to this box shadow generator and just go from outline to inset. And that will put the shadow on the inside. And I could copy that line there, and you can see the only real difference is it says inset there. So coming back here, I can very easily just do pound box 5 and add that box shadow there. And I really just need the same color. So I'm just going to copy that line and paste that in as well. So now I've got the two box shadow designs here. One thing that's interesting about shadows and the use of shadows these days is there's this trend towards something called new brutalism or neo-brutalism. And it's sort of a web design trend that I've been tracking for the last year or so. And if you just Google new brutalism, you'll get sort of these types of things. So you can see these sort of very black shadows, black outlines. That shadow there kind of offset a little bit, and then it's black. This sort of style has been very popular lately. You see it in companies like Arc Browser. The very bright colors, very solid, colors, and there's a more subtle shadow here, but you'll see it in companies like this. And this is a new browser out of a company in Brooklyn, which is pretty cool. I've been using it for a while and I really like it. But this very much has that new brutalism kind of look to it. Or the Figma website. If you go check out Figma, the Figma website here is, look at the black buttons. We don't have the shadows so much here, but there's a more subtle shadow, but you can see it in the bright buttons. So again, these things kind of come in and out of fashion in different ways. And so, keep in mind as you're designing what sort of style you're looking for and how it conforms with other products out there, or what it's competing with, and that sort of stuff. Very interesting stuff.